Hello, and welcome to Relaxing Facts. I'm Chad K, and today I will be talking about the Black Death. Each week, I share interesting stories and little-known facts on a variety of topics, accompanied by gentle, soothing music. My goal is to help you find a sense of calm during your busy day. Feel free to settle into a cozy spot and let yourself be carried away by these relaxing facts. The Black Death arrived in Europe in 1347, but its origins likely began much farther east, somewhere in Central Asia. Historians believe the disease traveled along trade routes used by merchants, soldiers, and travelers. These routes connected distant parts of the world through caravans and ships, allowing goods like silk and spices to move between continents. Unfortunately, disease traveled with them. The illness itself was caused by a bacterium now known as Yersinia pestis. The disease often spread through fleas that lived on rats, especially black rats that thrived in crowded medieval towns and aboard ships. When infected rats died, the fleas searched for new hosts, including humans. In an age without modern medicine or understanding of germs, people had little chance of stopping the outbreak. One of the most famous stories about the arrival of the plague involves the trading city of Kaffa on the Black Sea. During a siege, infected bodies may have been thrown into the city by attacking forces. Merchants fleeing the area carried the disease aboard ships into Mediterranean ports. Whether every detail of the story is true or not, the plague undeniably spread through maritime trade. From port cities, it moved inland with astonishing speed. When the Black Death reached Europe, conditions were already difficult. Years of poor harvests had weakened many people through hunger and malnutrition. Towns were overcrowded, sanitation was poor, and waste often filled the streets. Animals and humans lived close together. These conditions created the perfect environment for disease. The symptoms of the plague were horrifying. Victims developed fever, chills, weakness, and painful swellings called buboes, usually in the armpits, neck, or groin. The swellings could become blackened, which may have contributed to the name Black Death. Some people suffered bleeding beneath the skin, turning parts of the body dark purple or black. Others experienced coughing fits and difficulty breathing when the disease attacked the lungs. Many victims died within days. The speed of the illness terrified people. Someone healthy in the morning might be dead by nightfall. Families watched loved ones die one after another. In some places, so many people died that there were not enough survivors left to bury the bodies properly. Mass graves became common. Priests, doctors, and caretakers often died alongside those that they tried to help. Fear reshaped society. People searched desperately for explanations. Since medieval science could not explain bacteria or infection, many believed the plague was a punishment from God. Others blamed bad air, unusual planetary alignments, or supernatural forces. Some groups became scapegoats and suffered terrible persecution. Jewish communities in particular were falsely accused of poisoning wells, leading to violence and massacres in several regions. These tragedies revealed how fear and ignorance can turn societies against innocent people during times of crisis. Religious reactions varied. Some people became more devoted, praying constantly and attending religious processions. Others lost faith after seeing entire communities destroyed despite their prayers. A group known as the Flagellants traveled from town to town, whipping themselves publicly, believing that suffering and repentance would end the plague. Authorities often viewed these movements with suspicion because they could spread unrest as well as disease. Medicine at the time was limited and often ineffective. Doctors wore strange outfits that later became famous symbols of the plague. The most recognizable feature was the bird-like mask with a long beak. People believed diseases spread through poisonous air, so herbs and perfumes were placed inside the beak to filter bad smells. Treatments included bloodletting, herbal mixtures, and burning fragrant woods. None of these cures truly worked against the bacterium causing the disease. Quarantine became one of the few effective responses, even before people fully understood why it helped. Some port cities required arriving ships to wait before passengers could disembark. The word quarantine comes from the Italian term for 40 days. Isolation slowed the spread of disease and became an important public health practice that would continue for centuries. The death toll was staggering. Historians estimate that the Black Death killed between 1/3 and 1/2 of Europe's population within just a few years. Tens of millions died across Europe, Asia, and North Africa. Some cities lost more than half their inhabitants. The scale of death was almost impossible for people at the time to comprehend. Yet the Black Death did more than kill millions. It transformed societies in lasting ways. Before the plague, much of Europe operated under a feudal system in which peasants worked the land for powerful nobles. Laborers were abundant, and most poor people had little power. But after the plague, workers became scarce. Fields went untended because there were not enough laborers to harvest crops. Survivors suddenly found their work in high demand. As a result, peasants and workers began demanding higher wages and better conditions. In some places, governments tried to freeze wages to prevent labor costs from rising. These efforts often caused anger and rebellion. Over time, however, the balance of power slowly shifted. The labor shortage weakened traditional feudal structures and gave ordinary workers greater bargaining power. The plague also changed cities and economies. With fewer people alive, survivors sometimes inherited land, homes, or wealth from dead relatives. Trade patterns shifted. Some industries declined while others adapted to the new economic reality. The pandemic disrupted old systems and opened the door to social mobility that had been rare before. Art and literature reflected the trauma of the era. Images of death became common in paintings, stories, and religious works. Skeletons and grim reapers appeared in murals and manuscripts, reminding viewers that death could come for anyone, rich or poor. Writers explored themes of suffering, morality, and survival. The experience left a deep psychological mark on medieval culture. One famous literary work connected to the plague is the Decameron by Giovanni Boccaccio. Written during the plague years, it tells stories shared by a group of young people hiding from the disease outside Florence. The book captures both the fear of the pandemic and the desire to escape despair through storytelling and human connection. The Black Death also influenced religion and learning. The enormous death toll among clergy weakened the authority of some religious institutions. At the same time, the failures of traditional medicine encouraged greater interest in observation and practical study. Over the centuries, these shifts contributed to broader intellectual changes that helped shape the Renaissance. Although the worst outbreak ended after several years, plague did not disappear completely. Waves of plague returned repeatedly over the following centuries. Some outbreaks devastated cities all over again, including the Great Plague of London in 1665. However, societies gradually improved sanitation, quarantine systems, and medical understanding, reducing the disease's impact over time. Today, scientists know much more about the plague bacterium and how it spreads. Antibiotics can successfully treat plague infections if caught early. Cases still occur occasionally in some parts of the world, but modern medicine and public health measures prevent the kind of catastrophic mortality seen during the Middle Ages. The Black Death remains important not only because of the lives it claimed, but because of the changes it triggered. It reshaped economies, altered political systems, influenced religion and culture, and revealed both the strengths and weaknesses of human societies under pressure. And that brings us to the end of this week's talk. If you like this episode of Relaxing Facts, then please subscribe. Also, leave a comment and let us know how we're doing. I hope you have a wonderful day, whether you're taking a moment to unwind or just simply enjoying some calming listening. Thank you so much for being here. I am Chad K, and I will see you next time. Bye.